3, 2, 1.
Baby, you know how it goes. It gets lonely in this bed alone. Pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up. Pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up. Baby, you know how it goes. It gets lonely in your bed alone.
Welcome back, Powerheads, to our season finale of Ghost Book 2, Episode 10. Joining us today as our favorite guest panelist is VR McCoy, supernatural author, and the author of Shaman the Dawn's People, among all the other books that coming out of the Native Nights universe. Welcome, VR.
Yo, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I've been waiting to get on the show.
This is an awesome episode. I mean, they had us waiting, and they gave us what they promised. They delivered, didn't they, gentlemen?
One of my favorite episodes, even going back to the original Power series, is definitely ranks up there for me.
Absolutely. It was packed.
So let's just jump right into it. First off, man, we got Monet. She's walking around with a Louis Vuitton bag. She looking kind of fly a little bit, actually. You know, she got the hoodie joint going on, but I can appreciate it. She's going to get visiting my man Rico, right? What's going on with that?
Yeah, she went to go visit Rico. You know, with that, I don't know. When I saw that red wig, I don't know. I caught some weird vibes and just thought I knew something was gonna happen. I saw that big red wig. I said, all right.
I actually thought that this was going to go totally south. Her visiting him, just based upon the fact that he sent the guys here to basically shoot up the club. Those guys came from him, and even Kane realized that he was trying to put her out of the business by doing such. But apparently, due to that, he had to get back in bed with her, so to speak. And then they had to get Kane to come back into the family as well. So I really thought he was going to get abusive on her.
He was going with the verbal tips for sure, man. He was making fun of the fact that he shot up Drew. Was like flirting with her, calling her a bitch, and then eating shrimp while he's doing it and licking cocktail sauce off his fingers.
When they, to me, the foreshadowing of the events, they were patting down Monet as a man having to pat down a female. There's always going to be certain levels of decorum that you need to have, and due to that, he didn't check her as well as he should have. Once I saw her getting patted down, I said, okay, she's going to kill this dude. Like, I already know she's going to kill this man. 100%.
I didn't see that coming. That's great foresight, man. I just totally didn't.
I knew something was going to go off, though, man, because it was just like there was still too much heat in the air, and Monet just don't play that, man. She's like, she's counting up the body count, man. And this is her first season on the show. So, wow.
Man, no doubt.
Right, so basically she popped my man, so there's extra cocktail sauce on the shrimp. And of course, Al took care of business, so now they just got bodies. So then we shoot forward to our man Kane. I thought he was like in the jungles of Predator or something like that with his big fishing suit on, like almost had that one, didn't you? And he's sitting up there with your boy Ramirez with the cinder blocks, about to do his biz.
I can't believe he killed Ramirez. I mean, that was just such a dumb move. You have a police officer who's working with the crime family to help and assist. Like, that's dumb. Why would you get rid of that man? That's your protection right there. You can't easily find that again. But that just goes to the mental state that Kane is in. And he's acting on impulse versus, him acting on what's best for the family.
Yeah, he's like a rabid dog, unfortunately. And it's unfortunate they had to bring him back in because dude's just sheer chaos. There's no other way around it. But unfortunately, like I said before, they have to put him on a leash again and bring him back into the family because he's the strong arm of the family, no doubt. The rest of them have the brains, but he's definitely their enforcer.
I don't even say the rest of them have brains. I say pretty much Tariq's the brains, but meanwhile, it's like everybody else is more loyal than anything, I think.
You got to either bring Kane back into the family fully or you got to put him down.
No doubt.
One and two. You can't have him out here running around, doing whatever he wants to do. Monet either needs to bring him back into the family, like Tejada told her to do, or just put him down. But pick one.
No doubt.
Pick one, because him out there on his own is going to be ugly.
Yeah, Drew does have brains up. We've seen Drew actually step up and do some things in reference to keeping his brother in line and making some moves. in reference to his mental state, and he doesn't want to take over. Actually, he doesn't even want to be a part of any of it, but still, he has the mentality to do it, and we've seen that even with the gun in his hand, he can be quite convincing. All that aside, he's pretty formidable, to be quite honest with you, when he wants to be.
I think he's getting there. He's going to develop into something like real good. Just put him back in the oven for a couple more minutes.
Yeah.
Tariq runs into Lauren because he's all dressed up in the red suit. Nice choice of colors. And like when we left them off, it seemed like, there was going to be some emotional distance for a minute, but that didn't last long, did it?
Nah. Lauren is, Lauren's in love with Tariq. And honestly, I think that the feeling is, at least somewhat mutual, if not completely mutual. Tariq doesn't want to expose her to who he really is. So that's why when she offered to come to court with him, he didn't want her to see that side of him. Tariq wants to be different. Tariq's in the game to make money to pay the lawyer, not to be in the game for any other reason. Tariq's like, if I go to school, I get my dad's money and I don't have to be a part of this ever again. So Tariq didn't want her to see that side of him.
What I see here is basically a resurgence of Ghost and Tommy, and Ghost's first love outside of his wife. That's Lauren and Tariq, the ex district attorney, Angela. And his roommate is Tommy. We're seeing the maturation of the first season of Power with all of them actually coming forth. Even when Tariq's, and I'm jumping a little forward here, even when he looks in the mirror, he realizes that, hey, as much as I try to get away from being like my dad, I am my dad. And I think the episode before that was called Monster. And basically they were referring to him as being a monster and him saying, I'm not. But I think he really realized it in this episode that we just got finished watching. And that's why it was so easy for him to come to terms with the professor.
And I think what he told his mother was real. And I think you hit the nail on the head. She's scared. She's worried. And he's like, Mom, I am a killer.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? Like he's come to terms with it. He doesn't want to be that person.
Yeah.
And I think because he saw his father deal with Angela in that manner, he's trying to shield her from all this. He's trying to shield Lauren. He does not want her to see this side of him.
Absolutely.
He wants to go meet Angela, not as Ghost. And
I agree.
Be able to live a normal life, not this hectic, chaotic life that he's currently living.
To get back to the scene we just discussed, just as he was about to leave the school to go on, head to court, out of the corner of his eye, he catches Shaky Ev, and I like to call him Shaky Ev from now on because he was scared crapless. He was getting grilled, and not even really getting grilled because it wasn't the cops. It was just Jabari and VWAT or Professor Milgram. And he wasn't performing very well, was he?
He's soft, man. We've seen it time and time again. He's soft, and he has no business being in that world, but unfortunately, that's his family. We've seen that before as well. It's something he has to deal with. Basically, they've taken care of him, given him everything that he needs to succeed, but he's soft. That's not his world, man.
Well, I mean, I think part of his issue too is that he's in the office, and while he's trying to tell the truth, he also has a secret that he's trying to hide, and that, he's not an openly gay man. He's a closet gay man, and he's trying to hide the fact that Drew was even there. You see that, whoa, this guy was here, and then all of a sudden it's, well, no, maybe that was another night I don't remember, and it's.
Can you imagine what Santana's gonna do to that?
Luckily, that didn't occur, and we had the what's her name, Vinatieri. She was there she was there to assist him because of
redirect. Yep.
Exactly, because of what Monet had said to her. Yes. She's going down with the rest of them, so she's like, okay, I'm going to start steering this ship in the right direction, regardless of Jabari.
And she has no knowledge whatsoever that Professor Jabari is actually trying to divert as well.
Yeah. Absolutely. They don't know about each other, no doubt.
They do not.
I enjoyed that writing the most.
Yeah.
But that was pretty cool.
They wrote a lot of storylines into this episode, and it was amazing because there was enough here for maybe 2 episodes, honestly.
I agree.
But I appreciate them giving us this because this is what we've wanted. We've complained more and more about, we've felt like you've given us half an episode worth of, entertainment and another half of just filler. And to me, this episode right here was the first time, in a while where I was like, wow, there's a lot going on in this episode here.
Speaking to wow, and a lot going on, what is your girl VWAP, Professor Milgren, wearing? Because I'm like, it was hot, but I'm like, is she teaching school like that? little side out, a little leg out.
Trust me, I didn't have any teachers look like that growing up. If I did, I don't know if I ever left that class. I might have never graduated that class. I'm telling you right now.
But then your boy Baby Huey pops up, and I call him Baby Huey because he's always walking around lately like, I'm scared, I'm better show Monet. Puff puff. She put the whammy on that though. She was like, she gave me a little kiss. I got it handled. You ain't got nothing to worry about. So then he just like, okay.
Yeah, I think another big aspect that we're starting to see is, and this definitely is due to Tasha. I think for the first time this season, we saw a little bit of pushback from Monet to her husband. I think it was that conversation that Tasha had with her that kind of started a little bit of that rebellious, well, I'm out here. If you hadn't done something stupid, you wouldn't be locked up here. You'd be dealing with this, not me. So since I'm the one dealing with it, you're going to have to just deal with the way that I'm handling my situation. Because she never was like that towards him until Tasha came and spoke, to her.
In my opinion, man, she's a better boss than Lorenzo. Because if you think about it, go back to the GTG situation. She was like, we got to shut these Bammers down. And Lorenzo was like, don't do that, And then with the Kane situation, he was wilding. So she had to cut him loose. Like, don't do that. And then he's mad because she went ahead and popped DC Joe. And it's like, she had no choice.
She had no choice. She had to prove herself. She had to prove her strength. She had to prove her street cred. Because a lot of people, like we've seen, are like, yeah, we're doing business with you, but really we're doing business with your husband who's in jail. And he's the one that's really calling the shots. And so she had to make sure that everybody knew, no, it's me.
Yeah, she's done it over and over, though, to be quite honest with you. She shot the guy that was trying to say basically that she was a nobody. And he pulled out a knife or whatever that was he had in his hand. And she did it again with the, as you put it, the finger licking guy.
I hope that shrimp was good.
No doubt, because that was his last meal, last supper for sure. But yeah, she's always, I thought, been a strong figure on the show, though, from the beginning. She's been that mother, yes, from the beginning, even with her kids. How many mothers outside of Tariq and his mother that actually are grooming their kids to be gangsters? In one way or another. So yeah, she's been that way since I've seen her on this series. She's cold, man. I wouldn't want to be in an alley with her, man, a dark alley.
All right, so we shoot forward to the hospital now where your boy's recovering from his shot in the lung. And basically,
it's in the shoulder.
Oh my God, it's right here, dude. There's no shoulder here. But anyway, moving forward, Kane is trying to talk to him. And he's coming in there, and I'm amazed at the transformation because, and I guess that's what a bullet will do. Before, he was like Kermit the Frog, sipping tea, whatnot. And then, he gets busted, and when he got the cap in him, man, you go one or two directions. You either just run on a rock and hide, and you try to avoid any type of situation. And he's getting in Kane's grill at this point.
No, he is, and it was good to see. It was good to see him get some to grow a backbone. To man up because, his character, based on the way that they decided to portray him as a gay man, and that's not normal in that society, in a drug dealer society, people could have assumed that he would be softer.
Right.
And that situation kind of took whatever softness was in him is gone. He's done with it. It's done.
Wrong him out.
Yeah, he's done. He's like, all right, I'm not that guy anymore. I'm going to give you what you deserve. You're not going to, talk to me in any type of way any longer. And matter of fact, get the fuck out.
And for the cherry on top, he's like, "You're dumber than I thought."
Yeah, you're dumber than I thought you were. Because what that statement means is, I always knew you were dumb, but you're dumber than I even gave you credit for.
You get extra credit dumbness.
But not only that, for him to speak to him that way is what I was saying in the beginning. He's not as weak as we portrayed, or they portrayed him to be, because we all know Kane's a psycho, and for him to speak to him that way, I mean, he has, he's got a lot of balls to do this. I use that lightly. It shows that he's a little bit more harder as well as smarter than Kane. And it doesn't take much to be smarter than Kane, to be quite honest with you. But you need to watch out.
Kane's a grunt. Kane's a grunt.
Exactly.
Kane, I hate to use the analogy, but like, Kane is a private in the army, and he needs someone. He needs someone to direct him.
Absolutely.
And take that aggression and direct it in a positive manner. They don't charge privates in the army with giving commands, orders, and direction.
I agree
that's
totally.
what Kane is. Kane is he's a grunt. He's a blunt object. You need to point him in the proper direction in order to have the better effective outcomes.
Yes.
So you're saying he's a magnum, but he ain't got a full clip.
He's very explosive, and you need someone who's going to put that trigger on him.
Now for me, man, we're into the top 3 of scenes. This is number 3 for me because it was 3, 2, 1. Number 3 was the courtroom scene. Now I told y'all last week that Tamika was the baddest-ish lawyer in this joint, and she proved it. Not only did she coach Tariq up pretty well, but look, she didn't even say a word. She was doing all these facial expressions, and all that. And Tariq knew exactly what to say.
She definitely coached Tariq through that situation. Remember, she said, "Give me that $1.
Give me that $1.
Now you're now I'm your lawyer. Whatever you tell me now, I can't divulge no matter what." So, she knew everything. So she said, "Okay, this is the way you navigate this situation, because they're going to try to hang you out to dry. And the best thing to do is to get in front of it." And that's what Tariq did. Tariq was like, whoa, well, why is it that you followed me to my father's gravesite after you drugged me? And I don't even know what was going on. And he started redirecting all those questions. He started to dominate the situation. This is going to go a different direction. I mean, because I'll be honest with you, after last episode, I thought Tariq might turn himself in to get his mother free.
That's the direction it was going.
Yeah, and it's about time that he, from last season to this season, stepped up. And we've seen him step up because he didn't step up for his sister and a couple other things. But yeah, we've seen him grow up here as well, and it's good to see.
But VR, do you think him not stepping up for his sister is the reason why he figured out a way to be able to step up for his mother and his remaining sister?
I do, absolutely.
I think it had a lot to do with it. I think that situation shaped him.
I agree. The maturation of him turning into his dad. I keep saying that because he is. But yeah, absolutely. In reference to the courtroom scene, though, I'm gonna tell you, man, it was like that, and he basically called all the shots. Unfortunately, there weren't any objections.
He just kept firing over the ball, man. He just kept blowing him out of the water.
The reason why he was able to do that was because since Sachs called him, there's no reason why Davis McClain is going to object, because everything he's saying is making his client look better. So there's no objections because of the fact that McClain's looking out for Tasha. He doesn't care. If Tariq get hung out to dry at the end of the day, Davis McClain could care less.
Yeah, I agree with that, but the way he was popping off Tariq, McClain didn't know what was going to come out of his mouth, is what I'm saying. And
that's why you saw that man stand up and said, Judge Chambers, as he closed his suit. He said, "Oh my God,
but you notice up until that point. But you notice up until that point, McClain was actually laughing.
He was eating it up.
Having a good old time.
Absolutely.
Like you said, eating it up. Yeah, eating it up.
They retired to the judges' chambers, and Steve Ott comes and shuts the world down. And it doesn't seem like there's any cap on this dude's power, because he just walks into a judge's chambers and dismisses her unless she wants to be reassigned to Utica.
Yeah,
tells her to shut up like he's a godfather, man.
This man has so much power. It is unbelievable. Like you said, the fact that he walked in, he told the clerk to get out. The judge stood up and said, "This is my chambers," and he said, No. Unless you want to get reassigned to Utica, you get out too.
But then when she hesitated, he was like,
he looked at her like, basically what he told her is, we're still going to get to the same place. The only difference is that if you don't go with what I'm doing right now, you will get reassigned. Like, absolutely. That's all it is. So you're going to do what I'm going to say.
All right, so we're all good up to this point. So we go. They have to fold. They have to say, okay, we'll do WITSEC with you. We're not gonna let Tariq be in WITSEC, which is perfectly fine with Tariq. He thinks he can handle himself and stuff. But then so that everybody reunites, and Tasha's like, we gotta run.
Well, because Tasha knows she cannot snitch on Tommy. If she snitches on Tommy, that is going to bring a wrath down upon that woman. That, you know, but she knows that wrath, and so she's like, there's no way that I'm going to snitch on Tommy.
Yeah.
But Tommy knows if she got out, it's because she was gonna talk.
Yeah, Tommy is a smoother version of Kane. He's not as rabid. Well, he is as rabid, but he has a bit more savvy with it. Mm-hmm. He knows how to navigate a little bit better than Kane, but he's even more of a killer and ruthless as Kane is. And that's what Tasha realizes. She grew up with Tommy as well as Ghost, so she knows what's coming. And that's why she's rushing to get her and her family out of there. And she knows that Tommy knows. If she's out like this, she snitched. You know, she knows not to snitch.
Here we go, Powerheads. It's time for that question and answer period. And we got Paul Blake coming up to us out of the DMV. What you got to say, Paul?
Surprisingly, Tariq shot him. So Tariq is a killer. I guess he's a killer with a conscience. Supposedly, he wouldn't kill the stripper, but he killed his daddy. But then he kills the professor. So go figure. But the finale also marked the return of Tommy. Little piece of advice. You don't cross a psychopathic killer. That's just not something you do.
Well, as usual, Paul, with his distinct sense of humor, is really slashing it up tonight, beating the hell out of Tariq, because sometimes that's what Tariq needs. And he's like, yo, he killed his father, but he's supposed to be a good guy. He won't kill the stripper, but he's killing this other person. So it looks like his priorities all mixed up, and he said, you don't play with a psychopathic killer. Well, all that's pretty true. And I have to give a shout out to my fraternity, and obviously Paul Blake's fraternity at Kappa Alpha Psi Incorporated, 110 years of existence. And Z Chapter just celebrated its 100th anniversary on December the 27th. So shout out to all you noobs out there. You know it's good. And this was an all Nupe show. Me, Eric, Reggie McCoy, alias VR McCoy. So all noobs, and half of them plays Izzy. That's what's up. So moving forward, man, he's straight on point as usual. Tommy, you can't turn your back on Tommy. You can't screw him over. But he's kind of got that out. Tariq has that out. Because Ghost, well, Tommy really found out towards the end that Ghost was really about his word and was really a good stand-up dude and was just trying to get out the game and wasn't trying to screw anybody over. Because Tommy was like, oh, he killed Keisha, wrong. He did this to me, set me up, wrong. He tried to get me killed, wrong. So all those dominoes just fell in the road just before he passed, and then he blessed him off with the Mustang, man. That was just the piece de resistance of the whole movement. I mean, how can you hate a brother like that? Just looking out for you and he thought he had to kill you because you were trying to kill him. But the way it worked out is he found out what the real deal was, and he replaced his little blue baby. We shoot forward to our next portion of the show where Tariq puts his Smooth Ladies Man Part 2 in when he's talking to Diana. And Diana's like bugging. She lets him know that Kane is actually disposed of Ramirez. And Tariq is like, I got you. I've already shown that to you, but I got you. That was dope.
No, it was. I mean, you saw Tariq really start to step up and you know, like VR said, be cognizant of that maturation process and really start to develop himself as, okay, I know that I'm the one that's running this at the end of the day. Monet put her business in my hands. Yeah. So I have to be mature about the situation and know that this is what has to happen. Like, you know, I'm going to take care of it. There's no more falling back on mommy. There's no, you know, none of that. Kane's gone, so you don't have your enforcer anymore. And, you know, obviously this scene is after the fact that he's come to the realization that he's a killer.
Yes, so he's a monster.
He's a monster. He's come to the realization. So he's now saying, I have to take over this situation.
So now we got Jabbar, and he's writing his own tombstone. He's calling in Tariq, and he's telling him, I'll help you, but you got to help me write this book because I know you're a drug dealer.
This guy, man, to be a professor, man, I think he must have got his degree out of the Cracker Jack.
As soon as you said got his degree, I knew it was coming.
This guy, I mean, think about it, man. This guy, he knows everything now. You think I'm going to walk up to somebody that's the head kingpin of a drug family and say, hey, this is what I got on you? Oh, come on, man. What's he living in a fantasy world? I'm gonna advance you some of my royalties. This guy makes in a day more than that, probably in half a day, his advance in royalties. And he's talking to Tariq like this, and I'm like, dude, you just signed your death warrant.
And the thing is that I think that he is, and obviously I can't say the full word here, but he's p-whipped
no doubt.
by Professor Milgram. And what he's saying, to him, he's like, if I get this next book and I become more successful and I have more money, maybe I can get her back. What he doesn't realize is that he can't ever get her back because she's willing to sleep with dudes that have no money, no perceived value, and could potentially end her career.
Yes.
Trust me, there's no book on earth that you can write an amount of money that you can make that she'll take you back. You're done to her.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't value that. Like, she knows who you are.
Yeah, he was pretty slimy from the start. I mean, using Tariq's essays and things of this nature or for his book without him knowing, and then finally asking him, you know, towards the end that he's going to be doing this, and then trying to blackmail him over it. And you know, like I said, there's been a murder on campus. You know he's involved some kind of way. You got all of this on this guy, yet I'm going to blackmail and threaten him.
He wasn't thinking. He was
thinking like you said. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was using the wrong. Yeah.
He was thinking with his third eye. And, and that got him in trouble.
No doubt.
As it does a lot of people.
Now we shoot forward, and Tasha's trying to represent. Tasha's trying to buy Tariq out from underneath Monet, and Monet is not having it.
No, there's no way. Monet gave up her entire operation in order to funnel all the drugs that Tariq was selling. She couldn't continue to keep her corner boys active and keep Tariq satisfied with product that he was pushing on campus. So she said, screw it. I'm going with who's selling more money. You know, who's making me more money. You can't buy somebody out of that because that's her business now. You know, you can't buy Tariq out of that, you know, environment.
And Monet went ahead and said, he's mine now.
Yeah, no doubt. Tariq's the son that she wished she had. I mean, out of both of her sons, I mean, Tariq is the one that's outshining, you know, the other two. Not only that, without him right now, and Tariq knows this, wouldn't have any business without this guy right now. I mean, he's the breadwinner. He's the moneymaker. And that's basically why her husband as well when he was in jail. He had Kane beat up, and Tasha went to him. They're going to protect him. And the only wild card in this was Kane. I mean, Tariq is shining right now for them. So you're not going to get rid of him.
Kane's jealous.
Yeah,
Kane's extremely jealous. Kane is not the brains of the operation.
No.
You know, Kane is the muscle. He's the enforcer. He is, you know, someone who does what they are told.
Next thing you know, it's a hailstorm of bullets again, shooting up the club again, and the blue Mustang goes speeding off.
I love that scene, man. What a way for
one of my favorite ones.
Enter
one of my favorite scenes.
No doubt.
Because we knew what it was. We knew exactly what it was.
Yes, we did.
Tommy is back. Tommy's back, and he's not coming to play.
No.
He's going to shoot up everybody he can try to shoot up.
Quickly. He didn't waste any time coming back, you know. He owed his ex-girlfriend as well, like he kept mentioning. That was always looming over.
Lakeisha. Yeah. He owes Tasha for what she did to Lakeisha. And absolutely. I don't think that, you know, as we progress farther, I think we'll, you know, be able to see some of these sentiments. But I don't think that even Tasha not snitching on Tommy will be enough for Tommy to back down, because I think Tommy actually saw an opportunity with Lakeisha. He found his Angela, right? Right? We're gonna keep coming back to the Angela, but he found his Angela. He found his woman that he can get out of the game with.
Yeah, I don't know if he was ever gonna get out the game, bro.
Maybe not, but he found the woman that if he was to get out of the game, that's the woman he could be with, because she's not a part of it.
And I could see him thinking that way though, Greg, because he bought the house outside the city for her. Mm-hmm. Was trying to do the family life with her son as well. And we saw in this last episode as well, he's still keeping tabs and taking care of her son.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's a good segue, because right after Tasha came to Tariq and he said, "I'm a killer too." Then, like you mentioned earlier, VR. Then he's like, he thinks, and he's like, "Well, I know Uncle Tommy pretty well, and he's a good dude at heart. So he's gonna go visit Cash." So he's sitting on his ride, and Tommy has a nice little intro to that, doesn't he?
He does.
Yes,
man.
absolutely.
Look, Tommy, and I think the only reason why Tariq even went there was because he knew Tommy wouldn't kill him.
I agree.
He knew it, because if Tommy wanted Tasha to not speak on his name, he would go after Tariq.
No doubt.
If that's what he really wanted, he would just go. He would kidnap Tariq some way, somehow. He'd kidnap Tariq, and he'd be like, "Look, you're not gonna speak my name, otherwise I'll kill your son." But he knew he couldn't do that path because he gave Ghost his word a long time ago that he would never kill Tariq, and Tariq knew that, and that's why Tariq had the balls to lay on that man's quarter panel like that. So I'll tell you something right now. Sit on my quarter panel. When I know I have beef with you.
He said, if you don't get your bony ass up off my car, I will beat your ass.
Thank you. He's like, I can't kill you, but I will beat your ass.
But what we're seeing also is Tariq is developing just ice cold blood, man. Woo! Unlike his dad, this guy doesn't sweat under pressure. We've seen Ghost sweat several times, you know, before his death. I mean, really unhinged.
I think the only times we saw Ghost sweat were in situations where he was uncertain. Tariq is not sweating because he's putting himself into situations that he understands the outcome. He knows Tommy's not going to kill him. Even if he doesn't know that Ghost and Tommy, you know, had an agreement, right? He knows that when Tasha got out, Tommy went after Tasha. She's a much harder target than going after Tariq. So he's smart enough to realize, okay, he's not going to come for me. I know I'm not really walking into a situation in which I'm worried about.
I agree totally, but we've seen him just cold as ice with some other stuff too. Right then and there when Kane put that gun to him, the dude was just still build, man. just talking to him like, you're not going to do that.
Outside of the situation and that small scene, that recap we saw of when Tariq shot Ghost, when have you ever seen Ghost shy away with a gun in his face? Not never. He learned that from his father.
Oh, I agree totally. And that's why I said the maturation of him turning into Ghost. No doubt.
Like Ghost never turned away from anybody.
Yeah, no, we haven't seen him like fearful. That's not what I'm saying. We've seen him unhinged. We've really seen him unhinged.
We seen him unhinged when his family was threatened and he couldn't do anything about it, when people were screwing up what was going on with his plans, and when he just figured his dreams were just totally gone away. That's the only time we see him unhinged.
He was unhinged with Tasha and his family in the apartment when he just basically blew that up. He didn't
want to be with Tasha anymore. I think that Tasha was palpable because of the lifestyle that he felt as though he had to have. And I think that's why he had that, situation with Angela. And I think that's why Tariq now has that situation with Lauren, and why he's very standoffish. And I'm going to say whatever I have to say with any of the other women that are in the game because I don't really want you long term. He wants a Lauren. I'm not saying he's going to get Lauren. I'm saying he wants a Lauren. Lauren is Angela.
Yes, she is.
Lakeisha was Angela. We're seeing a recurring role.
Yes, we are.
Come through. Mm-hmm. We're seeing the woman that man would leave the game for. It doesn't really want her to necessarily know about.
Meanwhile, Kane is trying to get back in the game, and he comes and he's spying from the trees at what was going on with Jabari and your boy Tariq, and he thought he had the whole story, and he shot Jabari and was about to shoot Tariq, but Tariq just totally discombobulated him straight off the bat.
I saw a crazy situation happen. I did not think, I'm gonna be honest with you, in the beginning, I was like, Tariq is done. He had him dead to rights. I mean, and I'm surprised that he didn't act in the way he did, but that shows the brains of Tariq, in my opinion.
No, I agree totally. We've seen Tariq, even in the beginning of Power, a great chess player, which a lot of people forget, taking things off the board left and right. No one can beat him playing chess. We've seen how smart he is, and that's what I think separates him from his dad. We've seen through Monster and Heart of Darkness him becoming Ghost, but he's actually taken it a step further because Ghost and his mother has shown him the street, but he also has the book knowledge now, which Ghost didn't have to go forward. He can outthink things that Ghost would get physical with. We've seen Ghost as well let some people off, just pay them off and send them on their way. We've also seen Tariq do that with the prostitute, not the dancer, I'm sorry.
What do you think about this? Tariq was going to take that money from him and leave. Tariq found an out. He found the one person who gave up all their cards. It's like if you're playing a spades game and I start the game and I throw all my cards down on the table, right? Yeah. I put all my cards out there. You now know everything I have. And that's what Jabari Parker did. Kane gave him an out from running.
But in the meantime, he was not going to go ahead and kill Jabari because he had no weapon or anything. He was just going to take the money and book.
He was going to take the money and run. But Kane gave him a way. He was going to take the money and run because he knew that what was going to happen with Jabari was going to blow the entire spot up. It was going to be a wrap. He knew too much information. But when Kane came, he saw a way out of the situation. He saw, I can kill him. No one needs to know. I can then move forward with the life in which I want to live, and I don't have to run anymore.
Doesn't have to look over his shoulder at
again.
Tommy or Kane. I agree totally.
I thought it was masterful the way he broke it down to him, though. First of all, he let him know that I know everything, okay? I know that you killed Ramirez, and he's like, how'd you know that? He was like, and he's telling him, like, this is what's going on. You killed Ramirez. I bet you that's his gun. He has his fingerprints on the casings. Why don't we go ahead and end it and tie it up in a nice little bow? And then dude was like, oh, you can just do that? You can just get me back in the family? And he was like, yeah, if you work with me. Totally blew your boy's mind.
when it comes down to selling, it comes down to how can you give your customer the feeling as though they won? And he knew that Kane wanted to be back a part of the family. He could tell, no, Monet loves you, and da-da-da. He knew exactly what he wanted. And he sold Kane on this. And he sold him on, you can get back into the family, but as much as you've hated me, your only avenue back is me. Because if you kill me, they're gonna know it's you. They're going to know it's you.
So he gives him the best advice at that point and tells him to go somewhere in public where a bunch of people can see you. But he sneaks around and he waits to see what Tariq will do. And when Tariq pulled the trigger, he just let out this smile. And what was that smile saying?
The smile was saying that, wow, this isn't the person I thought. Second of all, I now know and have some smoke on Tariq, but at the same time, as we saw from Tariq in court, Tariq told you to go get somewhere public on purpose. Because guess what? Tariq is 3 steps ahead. Tariq knows that you may not have done what you did, and that you did not do is what's going to be your downfall going forward.
No, I think he did that to give him an alibi.
No, he did do it to give him an alibi. But he didn't go do what Tariq told him to do, and that's the problem. He's not anywhere visible. He's not somewhere that,
Exactly.
He has an alibi. He is somewhere where he does not have an alibi. Tariq can easily say he came through, he shot the guy, he shot both. I dropped to the ground, and, this is who did it, and he doesn't have an alibi to get out of it. That's why he tried to give him a way out, and he would not take it. And I do think that will come back to haunt him.
I think that scene basically is giving Kane some leverage as well as some security with Tariq, because he didn't trust Tariq. And you heard him from the beginning. He thought Tariq was snitching. And for him to see Tariq doing that, it gave him a sense of security. I don't have to worry whatever misconceptions that he had about him, snitching or whatever. He didn't have to worry about that anymore. And it gave him some leverage over him in reference to having something over him, just in case he needed it later.
But it also gave him a little bit of acceptance of Tariq as family.
Yeah.
I'll say this though. I think there is a very significant, cinematic reasoning for why Tariq shot him in the head. Because if you look at all the other scenes, Monet has shot everyone multiple times in this chest area right here, right?
I like that.
Multiple shots to the chest. Tariq told his mother, I'm a killer. And what did Tariq do? Tariq didn't shoot him 3 times in the chest.
Nope.
Tariq put one right there in the T-zone, right between his head. Turn the lights off.
Yeah.
Like that's a wrap. And I think that has a massive
symbolic implication.
Yeah, because he's that guy. He's a killer. He's not a killer for situational aspects. He's just a killer. And shooting him in the head had such a symbolic meaning to it, in my opinion, considering that everybody that Monet has killed and everybody that's been killed in this entire season thus far has been shot in the chest. They've been shot very center mass. And Tariq said, boom, I'm putting one right between the eyes. I'm not gonna shoot you 3 or 4 more times. That's emotional. Tariq was making a business decision. The emotional is I'm gonna shoot you multiple times in this center mass area. The I don't care, I'm done, you're gone. That's 1 bullet to the head. That's done.
Yeah, he didn't. It wasn't emotional. He didn't hate the guy because we've seen it before. Several shots is because rage, whatever.
Yep.
We hear time and time again. Guy got shot 20 times, man. That's rage. And not only that, the symbolism of it, as Eric stated, this dude was too smart for his own good. Right in the brain. Bam.
Yep.
Think about that. Ruminate over that while you're making all these plans. You can't think your way out of this hot one between the eyes. You know what I mean?
And major props to frat brother Eric down below for studying up on his anatomy. So moving forward to the chase scene. Next thing you know, your boy Sax, I guess he maybe paid some extra money to get this sex scene or something, because he was trying to do a little business and whatnot with the other lady who used to be the prosecuting attorney. And next thing you know, he gets a little text message from McLean Davis. Tommy's mom, Kate, the BMW's been stolen. He's trying to get Tasha, and the chase is on.
Did y'all not see this coming? To me,
Tariq set all that up. Yeah.
He set it all up. Set it all up. Because guess what? Tommy's not dumb enough to be wanted, be in a city, and do something that's going to catch radar.
Exactly.
He's not dumb enough.
Yeah.
He's not dumb enough.
We all saw that coming a mile away.
But here's the deal. It gets mad ingenious because, okay, explosion, blah, blah, blah. But remember, he calls Tariq just before the whole chase scene starts, and he said, "You sure this is gonna work? Because I didn't want to give up 2 of my molars." Yeah,
because the way out is like when you get burned like that, they're going to go off dental records. Okay, so Tommy had to pull teeth out of his mouth and somehow get them at the crime scene in order to, confirm dental records of Tommy. So yeah. Tommy had to do a lot for this, and that's gonna kind of lead me to a later scene in the show here. But as much work as Tommy put into this, I was a little bit surprised to see him kind of double cross the situation. It was shocking because I didn't pick him to be that kind of guy.
Even when he was kicking it with Ghost, he went after Angela. Remember? Yeah, Tommy's like that, always has been. And Tariq grew up around the both of them, and Tariq already knew. Like we said, he was playing chess. He was.
But Tommy went after Angela because she knew too much, and he knew she would snitch.
Yeah, but still,
Tasha thought she was out.
Yeah, but still, what I'm trying to say is that's his boy.
What it is with Tommy, it's the rage switch. Because once the rage switch is hit, it's going to be the mission accomplished.
And that's what I mean. He never got over Letitia, so it was on, and he even said it. Even Tariq knew it. Tariq's like, I knew I couldn't trust you, man.
When he made the statement that, he was also doing this for Letitia is when I fully understood that it don't matter.
Letitia.
So when he made that move, and then he said, I'm doing this not only for the fact that your mother's trying to snitch, but because I owe her one from Lakeisha.
Yep.
It was like, okay, because guess what? One of them you might be able to fix. The other one, you cannot fix. That's done. There's nothing you can do to fix that particular situation. And so that's when I knew that Tommy was never going to stop.
I agree totally.
Yeah, so Monet comes out to the shadows, puts the thing to the back of Tommy's head, and there's 2 classic lines there. Y'all remember what Tommy said? Who is riding with you?
Who rides with you? Yeah, they would have the balls to do this.
Right. And then Monet responds back to, she said, I don't need a pair of balls, bitch. All I need is a pound of steel in the upper hand.
I think right now, I think the biggest thing that is going to come out of this, knowing and understanding Tommy, is that the biggest mistake Monet made in this episode, leaving Tommy alive.
No doubt.
I'd have killed him.
No doubt. Yes.
I'd have killed him. And if I was Tariq, there's zero chance. I would have told Monet, look, let's kill him, let's bury him, let's be done. Because for your family, that's the end of it, right? That's the end of it. If Tommy's gone, that's the end of it. The fact that you left him alive because you think that there's some familiar ties to this situation is problematic, because he's told you, he said, I won't kill you because I gave Ghost my word. But your sister and your mother, I didn't give Ghost my word on that.
Well, we already know Tommy does not kill kids. Lisa Marie.
Yes.
Yeah, well, look, if the daughter happens to be in the same place and he doesn't know it, and he's going to kill Tasha, then I think he's that crazy. Happen.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
You just said it, Greg. Once that rage switch is switched on for him, it's just on. No matter who are the casualties, he just goes mad out like a berserker, man. Number one, Tommy already told him, don't call me uncle. Oh, that's off the table. No matter what we do, what business we have going on right now, it's just business. He's no longer family. And not only that, he also told Tariq, basically, I'm going to go after her and continue going after her. This round, you might have won, but I'm coming back, is what he told him.
That's why if I was Tariq and I said I was the killer that I was, to save my mother,
yes.
I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not a killer personally, but my mother, she's tattooed on my arm right here. I love her to death. Say something right now. If I felt as though that was the situation, and I'm not a killer. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'd have put Tommy down.
No doubt.
No questions asked. I'd have put Tommy down. I'd have put Tommy down. There would have been no, there's no games. There's no, Tommy, you can live and we're gonna fudge the Nah, absolutely not. I'm putting Tommy down.
But then when Drew and Diana come pulling up on the side, he goes, "Oh, look at this typical ghost shit."
I don't know what to make of that, man. That statement, because he doesn't even know who they are, man. Number one.
All he knows is that the cavalry is going to be there, and it's going to be a plan A, B, C, and D when you had ghosts.
Yeah. Yep. No, he realized that his rage clouded. He did not understand what he was getting himself into, and he set himself up. Because of his rage. And like VR said, I think the vast majority of it was due to Lakeisha. I don't think it was due to anything else. I think he loved that woman and he saw his way out. That's why when Tommy killed Angela, Ghost started to flop as far as okay, I don't even have this cordial relationship with Tommy anymore. I'll kill Tommy. I don't care.
I think the big thing here with this episode, as I stated earlier, is Tariq finally coming into realization that he is his father's son, and he is the monster that Ghost was. And all throughout this episode, we kept seeing references to that from Tommy, from everyone. He is everything that Ghost was, but like I said, just a little bit smarter. Even when he looks in the mirror, that symbolism, he's ruminating. He's basically seeing his dad. And that's why they showed that scene. He tried his best to run away from it, but that's who he is. And that's what I took from all of this, basically, is that he finally came to terms, as Eric said, with who he is, and that is the monster. And he killed his dad for whatever reasons that he trumped up, but he is his dad. I mean, in every aspect of it.
VR, let me say this. I think far too often we make statements and we say, I am my brother's keeper. Right? And we're okay with that statement. But the statement that we don't always make and that we're not always okay with is that I am my father's son. And that is, to me, what we're seeing right now in this. We are seeing Tariq become his father. He's not getting out of the game.
No.
He's not changing his ways. He's becoming his father because that's what he knows. That's Absolutely. What his father taught him, whether it was conscious or subconscious. He was not his sister's keeper.
Right.
Because he did not want to be Ghost. So because he was not Ghost, he was not his sister's keeper.
Right.
Now we're seeing him say, I'm my brother's keeper, I'm my family's keeper, and I'm my father's son.
Family first. We heard that a lot as well. I agree totally, Eric. And at the end of the episode, we see him going off with his crying family, not going off with his mother. So he's totally into that. And like I said, Monet is just elated because she has the son that she's never had.
And he made things straight with her by giving her the money that he owed her from Jabari.
Because he got it from Jabari that he killed.
No doubt.
Yeah.
He knew
so that was a dope into the very first season of Ghost Book 2. That was an incredible run right there. I look forward to the great stuff that's probably going to come to us in a year. But in the meantime, we got Raising Kanan coming up in June. But, I mean, what's next? It should be Force featuring Tommy. And we all know Whose burner does he have before he leaves town?
Oh, he's still out there. You're right.
2-bit.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so he's gonna pick him up. He's gonna scoop him up in the Mustang on the way out.
That's
And they're gonna run LA.
You're right. That's it.
And then he will not be a problem for Tariq anymore.
Never.
Yep.
But, yo, I'm going to say this. Yo, Nupes, I really want to appreciate y'all for allowing me to be on every single week. Greg Banks, you allow me to be on every single week. B.R. McCoy, amazing to meet you.
Likewise.
Amazing. You know, I know we might not all put this on, on camera, but whatever. Look, I'm here. I'm part of the game. At the end of the day, I already know. If I'm going to do something, I trust the noobs that are in the building, and I'm going to make sure that.
Shit. So we're wrapping it up with the 10th episode of Ghost Book 2, the first season of Ghost Book 2. And it was a fantastic experience working with my main man, Dylan Cuesta, Editor Magic. He's doing his thing. Always my right-hand man, Eric Everly. He's always there, always has a solution. Most of the time is very sarcastic and flippant, like, Greg, this is how you do it. Oh, I'm loving it, man, because he's always there for support. And he's a true Team Van Debris family member. So I want to shout out to everybody who's participated the entire way, question and answers, guest appearances, our musical director, Dr. Electric. And a special shout out goes to Mi Corazon, Mi Mami Linda, B. Lemus, for incredible mixology work and all her contributions to Van Debris. All you guys, man, it's an effort of love. I really appreciate you. And let's do this again soon. Yo. And it's clearly an all-Nupe episode. Fabulous.
Yo, yo.
Yo. All right, so moving forward. Yo. Come on, Eric, where you at? Where you going?
I did mine first. I started mine out.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, okay.
That's why I did it, because he did.
I started the trend.
Yes, he did.
Cancellation.
So, I want to just give this shout. Okay, that's the end of that. All right, recuperate. Okay.
Hey,
I know we can move forward. Hey, look, I'm gonna get my point across. I might take founders. But I'll get my point across.
Geez. Okay. Get in the cut. And it was the lung. And getting back to it. Getting back to it. All right, so I guess that's it.
Well spoken.
I guess.